Hello and welcome back. Pakistan's recent crackdown on the Islamic militants in the Red Mosque left more than 100 people dead. Since, militants have carried out a series of revenge attacks which have killed more than 200. Many Pakistanis fear that this surge in violence may turn into a full-blown war between President Musharraf and the Islamist elements, while opposition parties fear that it may provide an excuse for the government to postpone elections, something President Musharraf denies. Benazir Bhutto was the first female prime minister of a post-colonial Muslim country. In each of her 2 terms as prime minister, she was dismissed by the president for alleged corruption. She is now preparing to head back to Pakistan from her home in London, even though President Musharraf has threatened her with immediate arrest. People in Power Sapna Bhatia asked what she thought about the rise in Islamic militancy in Pakistan.
See, I'm a Muslim and I have a great faith in the religion of Islam, which gives the message of peace and of brotherhood. Mosque for me is a place of sanctuary, of prayer, of refuge. It's not a place where you house rocket launchers and ammunition and fight state authority.
Why has it happened?
I believe it's an offshoot of the Afghan Jihad. In the 80s, when the Soviet Union had occupied Afghanistan, the then military dictator turned towards the Muslim Brotherhood to organize the Afghan Mujahideen. They thought they had defeated one superpower and could defeat another. So after the Soviets withdrew, they decided to take on the West and to take on moderate or secular leaders within the Muslim world. They've tried to spread their tentacles and they have used their sympathizers within the military and security apparatus to spread through madrasa and militants. They used our dispute over Kashmir as a pretext also to justify their expansion. But we can see what is happening in Pakistan is not a Pakistani movement. It's led, or it's got connections with Al-Qaeda. So it's Al-Qaeda's agenda which is actually leading to civil war and bloodshed in Pakistan.
And how is this going to affect the political situation in Pakistan?
We have been saying that unless democracy is restored, the Taliban will regroup, and they have regrouped. And then we said that unless militancy is tackled, the militants will spread. Well, they're spreading. And now we are saying that the very future of Pakistan, its integrity, its unity is at stake. The militants were first the junior partners of the military. Now it seems that they want to establish themselves as the senior partners because they're attacking the military as well as the civilians. And they have so many arms, they have so many cells, and they just flit from one militant madrasa to another.
Do you think that General Musharraf is going to use this situation to put off elections this year?
The regime has so far said it's going to go ahead with elections, but there's a widespread feeling that there are certain hidden hands behind this activity that want to prevent elections and declare a state of emergency. Or maybe it's the militants who are fearful that under the ruling PMLQ, they've been able to spread their tentacles all over the country, including Islamabad. So it's possible that they themselves are creating the situation to get the elections postponed, because under dictatorship they have thrived.
Are you saying that up till now General Musharraf has condoned extremists?
Lal Masjid, or Red Mosque, which has become a symbol of the growth of militant madrasas, was established in the last 5 years. It was established on government land that had been illegally seized. Rocket launchers, Kalashnikov guns and foreign militants were smuggled into the Red Mosque, all under the eye of the security services who were unable to perform their duty. And when they performed their duty and arrested one of the militants who was smuggling weapons into Islamabad, the cabinet minister intervened to get him free. Cabinet ministers have defended suicide bombings.
There has been a lot of talk about a power-sharing deal between General Musharraf and you. Any substance to that?
I would say that's premature. The doors of dialogue have been kept open. We believe in negotiations and dialogue, and our dialogue has been focused on the facilitation towards democracy. But democracy means a fair election, And I'm afraid when I see statements like the one by the Election Commission of Pakistan that rejects the complaints that we have given of the disenfranchisement of voters, then I feel disappointed, because I don't believe that there can be a facilitated transfer to democracy unless there is a basic understanding on how fair elections can be held. Our back channels assure us that they will deal with the issues of providing a level playing field for all political parties, as well as holding fair elections and creating a balance of power between the presidency and the parliament. But so far, these have not turned into reality.
This week sees elections in Turkey. One of the key issues influencing how votes will be cast is Turkey's proposed membership of the European Union. What makes Turkey special next to its European neighbours is that nearly half of its population is under 24 years old. Last year, in negotiations with the EU, Turkey emphasised that its dynamic population could make it an engine of growth within the EU. But just what do Turkey's young people make of joining Europe?
On October the 29th, 1923, the Republic of Turkey became the successor state to the Ottoman Empire, after 623 years of rule. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk became the Republic's first president and subsequently introduced radical reforms with the aim of founding a new secular republic. Until then, Turkey had been governed by Sharia law. Among the far-reaching changes were the new civil code, penal code and business law, based on the Swiss, Italian and German models. The new legal system made all citizens, men and women, equal. The leaning bridge over the Bosphorus spans 2 continents, joining Europe and Asia. Even before its construction, this linkage was Ataturk's aim.
Since the establishment of the Republic, Westernization and Europeanization and being the part of the European integration have been the main goals of the Republic.
70 years after Ataturk, Turkey is still not yet part of the European Union. Young metropolitan Turkey, as seen here in Istanbul, is very different to rural Turkey in hopes and habits. Özge Dering is attending a rock music club with her boyfriend. For her, membership of the EU is not a big issue.
It is not that important to be European because our quality of life is as good as theirs. That's why it doesn't matter being called European or Asian. The women's rights have been improving in Turkey since the foundation of Turkish Republic. The Europeans cannot accurately figure out our society in their mind. For example, they think that all Muslim women wear black clothing.
A sentiment echoed and amplified by Özge's friends.
We have a culture. We have a tradition inspired by Ataturk. Ataturk is like our father, the father of our entire country. The EU requested the removal of Ataturk pictures from government buildings. It is impossible to do that. Moreover, the problem is Cyprus. The southern part of Cyprus urges EU, and EU urges Turkey to come to a solution that is favourable only for Greek Cypriots.
If the requirements were fulfilled, we would probably be in the EU. However, joining the EU is still a controversial issue in Turkey. Why do we join EU? If it's necessary to take steps back in Cyprus, change our cultural identity and accept treaties that are in favor of other parties.
It is true that Turkey still has a lot of progress to make in order to reach the European Union's level, even if it has already made big steps forward in satisfying the criteria. But I'm sure it will be European one day. I'm sure also that it will take serious efforts.
Sumru Atak is a student. She understands that the life she enjoys is not available to all Turkish women.
All of the girls don't have this kind of freedom in my Turkey. I know many friends of mine, whose families don't let them go outside, for example, at night. It's very problem for them. And for example, some families don't let their daughters to have boyfriends, and girls have to lie to their families.
Nadid is also a student. Her view of freedom is in direct contrast to Sumru's. We wanted to film her at university, but under Turkish law, she cannot wear the hijab or headscarf. She was not prepared to be filmed without it.
We have the male-dominated society. In Turkey, it's also like that. Women doesn't have the same rights like men. In law says that women and men is equal, but in society, people don't act like that. Men always have more rights than women. Of course, I have differences between me and the girls who live in other countries. First of all, we have traditional, cultural differences. We have different expectations from our family, from our society. Also, our lifestyles are different. And second, I think they have more freedom living about their religion. We don't have this. For example, I'm not going to school with my scarf, but if I was in Europe, I would do it. I can do it. But here in Turkey, we don't have the same freedom.
Yusuf Kanli is the chief editor of the first English-speaking daily newspaper. He has a vision of his own about Turkey's future in the European Union.
When the day comes, when Turkey is fully prepared for accession, we'll have to think and decide. Not only Europeans, we as Turks as well must sit and decide. With today's conditions, I am against membership. That is, yes for the process, no for membership for the time being. Why? Because now it seems that by the day we become member, that is 10, 15 years' time, the demographic developments in Europe will produce a huge pensioner population, while we will still have a young, energetic, productive population. Why should we pay the pension of the old Dutch or the French?
In rural Turkey, these concerns are far from a priority. Çigdin Bahadin works 10 hours in a textile factory. After a 2-hour walk home, as the eldest daughter, she is still expected to wait on the family. To her, the young women in Istanbul are a race apart.
They wear jeans, smoke cigarette and put makeup on. And boys and girls goes out together.
And EU membership is something she just does not think about.
Frankly speaking, I do not feel comfortable talking about that, because I don't know.
The earliest Turkey could join the EU is 2014. The politics are such that it could be much later. The EU keeps raising the bar, and the Turkish government is increasingly looking east for its future rather than west. The new government will have to appease both old and new Turkey, taking tough decisions on where the country's future truly lies.
That's it for the programme. If you'd like to contact us, email us at aljazeera.net/English. Until next time, goodbye.